Good afternoon. I'm Austin Clift.
And I'm Melisha Regrier. Thanks for joining us on Studio B for the final show of the semester.
Several museums and shopping centers hosted holiday-themed events over the weekend. One of these annual events took place in the Delano district near downtown Wichita. Shoppers shared with us a glimpse of what they experienced on the first weekend of December.
Just wanted to spend the day seeing some of the things in Delano we hadn't seen.
We're out here today to listen to the beautiful music and to see how our friends are doing that we're running into and checking all the shops out. This is a good day for Christmas shopping.
Shoppers over the first weekend in December had the chance to get into the holiday spirit and spend some time in the Delano district in downtown Wichita during Christmas in Delano. The Delano district is home to many local businesses. This event gives these businesses an opportunity to get the word out about what local businesses in Wichita have to offer.
You would hope that the whole city of Wichita would know that Delano is here, but sometimes I think it's a best kept secret. So the more word we get out, the better it's going to be.
This event celebrates the opening to the Christmas season for many, but with temperatures in the 60s, it can be hard to believe that Christmas is less than a month away.
We're trying. Doesn't feel like it with the weather, but we're trying.
But it makes it better to be out when you have weather like this.
Shoppers said that they were still able to get into the Christmas spirit with a little help from some familiar sounds.
You can hear it in the air down here because of all the music.
With Christmas only a few short weeks away, events like Christmas in Delano help people to relax and remember what the holidays are really all about.
Just mainly having a good time.
Merry
Christmas! Local area museums near the Arkansas River also joined in on the holiday events. The Wichita Art Museum offered card decorating, free gift wrapping, hot apple cider, and art viewings for anyone wanting to get into the holiday spirit. Alexandria and Deborah Stubblefield attended the event and set aside the time as a Mother-Daughter Day.
Alexandria and I are here so that we can just have a great mother-daughter time as the end of the year is wrapping up. And so we're making Christmas cards, drinking hot cider, and just enjoying the wonderful weather while we're enjoying the decorations.
The Wichita Art Museum will hold another holiday event on the 15th of this month. The event is free and open to the public.
Flu season starts in January, but are you ready for it? Studio B reporter Sarah Cummings has more on the story.
Student Health Services gives its last big flu vaccination of the semester, leaving some with the vaccine and some without it. A big fan of Student Health Services offering flu shots on campus, Mark Vermillion gets his flu shot every year.
You hear all the good things about them, and I mean, it's not necessarily panacea. It's going to keep you from being sick all the time, but for a very, very small fee, it doesn't hurt.
And signing in only took about 2 minutes, and the vaccine isn't as painful as you might think.
No.
It usually takes a good 2 weeks for the vaccine to become effective. So we've been really trying to get it done before December 1st because then students will take finals and go home, and we want to make sure they're vaccinated and covered before they leave. But we're really trying right now to get those vaccines out and get people taking them before they come back to classes in the spring.
While the flu shot around campus is cheaper, easier, and faster to get, it doesn't mean that everyone wants to get them.
I don't have anything against it, but I personally don't usually get it because I don't get sick very often, and I'm not too into, taking medicine a lot if I don't need it.
Not getting sick with the flu in the past 6 years, Vermillion believes in the flu shot.
I like the flu shot. It's well worth the investment, which is virtually nothing, and it never hurts to be a little bit, kind of safer more so than sorry. So, especially since the flu just seems to go like wildfire through people and spread so quickly. It always helps to have any type of protection from that. So,
reporting for Studio B, I'm Sarah Cummings.
If you want a flu shot but have not gotten one yet, you can still get one from Student Health Services. $5 off by bringing 2 non-perishable items with you on your visit.
To help reduce finals prep stress, the Student Activities Council offered a free yoga class in the bookstore. Though many places are closed in the Student Center, the SAC managed to find a quiet spot for students to practice yoga.
I think it's a very, very interesting concept because at a very good time, because this is the exam week and it's obvious that the students are stressed. So I think it's a very good stress reliever.
A little break time for yoga can help students relax and energize for their upcoming finals. The yoga instructor reminds students of the importance of understanding the needs of their bodies.
Take rest when you need to. I think, and this goes along with yoga, what it's taught me is it's important to honor our body's need for rest as much as its need for movement.
No matter how busy you are, don't forget to find time between studying and work to relax yourself.
The theme for the 2012 World AIDS Day theme is creating an AIDS-free generation. Here at Wichita State University, students, faculty, and staff have the opportunity for free HIV testing at the Heskett Center basement. Our reporter, Donna Guzman, is live in the newsroom to tell us more about it.
Thank you, Austin. According to the U.S. Global Health Policy Fact Sheet, there are over 34 million people living with AIDS as of last year, and 1.7 million people have died of AIDS. Yet there's still this massive negative stigma that revolves around it. HIV is the virus that causes AIDS, and it has become one of the world's most serious health and development challenges. At Wichita State University, very few students stopped by the World's AIDS booth. Most neglected it or shied away from it.
I think that it's just one of those taboo things. You know, sex is everywhere in the media. Sex is what young people talk about, old people talk about. But when it comes to disease and HIV, people don't want to talk about those issues.
A simple yet powerful way to reduce the stigma around HIV is to talk about it, be knowledgeable, and get tested.
It's not anything that has a face. It's not anything that has a race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation. It affects everyone.
The HIV testing capacity has increased over time, enabling people to learn more about their HIV status. But the majority of people with HIV are still unaware that they are infected.
People might be afraid to know, just what the results are. You don't have to go by yourself. You go with a friend or go with a few friends just so, you won't be nervous and going to get tested.
Even if one is not infected, they can put a face to AIDS in the FACE initiative to reduce the stigma around HIV. Free testing was co-sponsored with the Student Health Services, Office of Multicultural Affairs, University of Kansas School of Medicine, and Sedgwick County Health Department. To get tested or for more information, you should call these places.
Although students are busy with the last 2 weeks of school, winter is the season of giving. As December passes by, students are hectic with presentations, projects, and soon-to-be finals, amongst other things. But Global Student Awareness Project wants to help out those in need in the community. They're having a campus drive of hygiene products to give to Head to Toe Hygiene Pantry. Donate hygiene items to the green bins located at the Radigan Student Center and Obla Library. The drive ends on the 14th.
The Office of Multicultural Affairs wants to bring a new service to campus that will help out many students. Sarah Cummings has more on the story.
The Office of Multicultural Affairs targets both the WSU campus and the Wichita community in an effort to end hunger. It is called the Empty Bowls Project, an idea that Alicia Newell, Assistant Director of the office, came up with.
I had students in my class come and we were talking about disparities within not only our community but within our own homes. And one of the things that came up multiple times was having to choose between paying for tuition or housing versus buying food.
Students, faculty, staff, and the Wichita community received a ceramic bowl for a $10 donation.
I'll probably use it as a reminder that actually people are going hungry even today, in the United States, even though we don't think of the United States as being hungry. Since it is a nice bowl, I might use it one time and then wash it and then put it away.
As a thank you, everyone that participated in the Empty Bowls project received either hot chicken noodle or creamy vegetable gourmet soup. 2 retired ladies from the school board system came from the Wichita community to support this event.
Well, that's why I'm here. I just had no idea that there was a need, for this type of program. I didn't realize that there were college students that were fighting hunger, so to speak.
With 65 pre-sold bowls, along with the bowls they sold at the event, Newell's goal is to use the monies to start a food pantry on campus.
It's something that I'm very, very passionate about. Growing up myself and sometimes having to choose, you know, do I do this, do I do that? It's needed, and I think that as long as it's centralized and it's monitored, and not just having us take ownership, but actually having the entire campus community wrap their arms around it and saying, hey, my office wants to come and volunteer, can we do some hours, and having them come and be the ones to help students, because it's not just an OMA issue, it's a campus-wide issue, and so trying to get as many people to be involved with that as they can.
Those who would like to help can donate at any time. Donate canned good items and make monetary donations to the Office of Multicultural Affairs. I'm Sarah Cummings reporting for Studio B.
The location of the first ever food pantry on campus is still to be determined, but for now, students in need can stop by the Office of Multicultural Affairs for help.
Getting a full-time job after graduation can be a challenge for many international students. We have Adeline Tan live in the studio to inform us more on international student employment.
Thank you, guys. As graduation approaches, international students need to understand the kinds of work permit required to work in this country. Here's the story. Graduation is around the corner. It's an exciting event as it signals the completion of one's education. At the same time, it can also cause anxiety in many as they worry about their employment and perhaps immigration status in the country.
Yes, I have been looking for a job for the past 2 months, hoping to find a job or have interviews in a couple of weeks or months ahead.
Even though I can work here up to a year on what's called OPT after my graduation, if employers want to keep me for more than a year after my graduation, they will have to sponsor me, but many of them don't. So that really limits my choices in how I can approach job hunting.
The law requires international students to follow certain procedures in order to work in the country. The optional practical training, also known as the OPT, allows F1 visa students to work for up to 12 months on a student visa without needing a H1 work permit. How would the Office of Career Services respond to this?
The employer's perspective is, I could hire you for a year on that training, but then I still have to prove that I haven't been able to find anyone else with those skills to be able to hire on a long-term basis. And why would I choose to bring someone in, train them for a year, and then not be able to hire them?
Although it seems to be a challenge, there are still many success stories of international students getting hired. If you want to find out more about the immigration regulations on international students' employment, contact the Office of International Education. Back to you in the newsroom.
All right, when we come back, we will talk about the continuing struggle with parking around campus.
And I like that thing that they're doing on ESPN. I've watched it.
Parking is still an issue for students, but this time is more about the safety of walking to your car. Should you go at it alone? Let's find out.
Parking on campus has been a struggle for students for years and doesn't seem to be getting any better. The construction took out one full parking lot for students who are now having to park further away. This makes for longer walks to class and one would think more tickets for desperate students and faculty.
Actually, this is not the case. Police Chief Paul Dotson says the number of tickets on campus has actually declined due to having only one parking official this year instead of 2. But don't worry, he said it would not affect safety measures taken for students, especially those who are on campus late at night.
There are so many more safety resources on campus than anywhere in the metropolitan community because we have so many police concentrated in a relatively small area.
Though students and faculty are having to find other avenues of parking, most seem to be abiding by the color-coded lot rules. However, Dotson says if they hinder traffic or obviously disobeying the rules, they will receive a citation.
Police are warning students that they will be ticketed for parking in reserved locations and restricted areas, like here in the NIAR visitor parking lot.
Some are worried about safety when walking to their vehicles at night, but Dotson says campus is just as safe and crime rates are minimal.
The cool thing about Wichita State is we have about 300 acres, including a golf course. and yet we have 25 law enforcement officers.
Visitors will not be ticketed, but are supposed to obtain a visitor pass, which can be picked up at the police parking center.
And it's a great time for Shocker sports. The Wichita State men's basketball team beat the Air Force Falcons 72-69 last weekend in Colorado Springs. Wichita State remains undefeated with an 8-0 record. The men will play Northern Colorado in Charles Koch Arena on December 8th. Tickets are free for students with their Shocker IDs.
For the first time in school history, Wichita State is heading to the Sweet 16 of the NCAA Women's Volleyball Tournament. And en route, the Shockers posted 2 come-from-behind victories on consecutive nights. Friday night, Wichita State dug a hole for itself, trailing 2-0 after the first 2 sets before rallying for a 3-2 victory. Saturday, the Shockers dropped the first set to Kansas 25-23, but responded by winning the next 3. The victory advanced Wichita State to Friday's regional semifinal in Austin, Texas. The Shockers will face number 6 seed USC Trojans. It marks the first time the Shockers have advanced past the second round in their 7-year NCAA tournament history. The match on Friday will be televised at 5 o'clock on ESPN3, or you can listen to it on 98.7 FM or 1240 AM. Good luck, Shockers.
When we come back, we will have Jill Pletcher with us to talk about the Office of Career Services on campus.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Today we have Jill Pletcher with us from Career Services. Welcome, Jill.
Thank you.
And I was just wondering if you could tell us a little bit about Career Services and what kind of things they have to offer for students on campus.
Okay. Couple of things. One is we work with students as they make career decisions. So what do I want to major in? I'm looking at 3 or 4 majors. I don't know how to choose between. How do I know what I'm good at? Interests, those kinds of things, so that they can make appropriate choices of which direction to go. And then we work with students a lot related to anything related to jobs. So whether that's a part-time or full-time job through our Hire a Shocker that's on our website, or whether it is getting ready to graduate. My resume, practice interviews, all of those kinds of things.
So can you walk me through a typical mock interview? You say it's preparing students for the actual workplace.
Yes.
Can you run me through that process and what it can offer for a student looking for a job?
Sure. One of the things that we do in preparation is talk with local employers to say what kinds of questions do you ask and what kinds of answers do you expect. So a student submits a resume and ideally a little bit about what type of job they're looking for. I can't ask technical questions depending on a student's major, but I can get at general things like motivation, initiative, communication skills, those kinds of things. So we just ask a series of questions and then provide feedback afterwards.
Well, have there been any situations in which a student has come in and they are just not certain what they want to do as a career path, or any specific situations in which you have been able to help some students out with that?
Yeah, we do occasionally have a student who says, I'm just totally lost. Most of the time students will have at least some ideas based on careers they've heard of or some majors that friends have talked about, but we really just start from scratch, ask them of a bazillion questions, and then based on what they tell us, point in directions. There may be an interest inventory, there may be someone that they can speak with more about career options, and so then usually at least they know what their next step is in terms of exploring.
So the program can really prepare a student to find a program, but it can also help them to find a job. How long can you wait to come into Career Services? Do you have to be a freshman, or can you come in as a senior?
In terms of high school?
As a college,
as a college student. Yes. Okay. We recommend that students start early with whatever they're doing. So if it's job search, to not wait until their final semester, because there's a lot of preparation they can do, a lot of exploration that they can do, and there are some employers who hire a semester or 2 out if they really find top-notch candidates.
Now, are there companies throughout Wichita that come to specifically Career Services looking for potential employees?
Yes, absolutely. Some of that is through the job postings they do. We do have some companies, primarily accounting firms or accounting-related types of positions or engineering, that they will come to campus and conduct campus interviews.
You had mentioned to me also that even after you graduate, you can still come back and take advantage of Career Services opportunities. Can you tell me about that?
You bet. We work with what we would categorize as opposed to a senior would be a new grad. So anyone up to a year after they've graduated. Sometimes a student just hasn't had time to focus on job search at all, or sometimes they have had a job when they graduate that for some reason doesn't work out, and so they're welcome to come back in and use any of our services.
So it's not too late at any point to come and take advantage of the career services.
Yes.
Well, we thank you for joining us today, and hopefully we'll help some students out who are looking for a career path, and hopefully they will come to see you. Just real quickly, where can they find you here on campus?
Yeah, 203 Grace Wilkie, and calling in for an appointment would be probably most appropriate, but they're welcome to come in and we can schedule that way as well.
All right, thank you so much, Jill. Is Wichita State getting a new residence hall on campus? Find out when we come back.
Wichita State University is moving ahead with a plan designed to make it more attractive to future students. This plan begins with a new residence hall. The new $50 to $55 million residence hall would replace the aging Brennan Hall and Wheatshocker Apartments with a more modern style dorm. The plan calls for the new dorm to be built in the parking lot just south of Cessna Stadium. The chosen location would put the building closer to Central Campus than any other of Wichita State's current dorms. Building a new dorm where there is already a parking lot on University that is mostly commuter students would be problematic, of course, especially with the RSC parking lot already occupied for the construction of the Student Center. The university does have plans to include a parking garage, but that is a different project that is still in the talking stage. Expect this new dorm to be ready for students to move into by the fall semester of 2014.
Well, that wraps it up for the last show of the semester here. Thanks for joining us on Studio B.
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. We now leave you with some videos showing people who keep Wichita State looking good. Here's to the landscapers and all their hard work.